I do hope so. Oh, that was a pain. Nothing worked tonight. I'm just going to set something up. And wait for words to come back that aren't profanities. That's my entire vocabulary right now. That's a horrible colour. Really just disgruntled with everything at the moment, but I will cheer up once I start painting. You can always rely on painting to sort it out. Combination of painting and black. Channeling my Johnny Nice painter. I'm a fly trapped in a bottle of shadows. Right. I think a more appealing kind of dangle of straps might be good. Yeah. Some tatty old binoculars. I'm going to have them looking towards me. Black on black. Wow, the lighting's terrible as well. None of this is any good tonight. You can get any of the cameras working, or they just take it in turns to be the one that wasn't on. It's been infuriating. That's better. If they're looking towards me, I have these two little wooden elephants. So they're far off in the distance. Maybe the elephants are hanging out close to one another, looking back. Can you see that on the screen? Move it all over a bit. Fluff off. Move it across a bit. Where I'm sitting. Maybe not pointing right at me. That's a very landscape format. So let's go landscape. Can you see that okay? I do hope so. Let's move the tomatoes and the tape because they're distracting. I haven't even had a chance to do all my cleaning brushes and what have you, so that's going to happen now. You'll be able to hear it in the distance, so that should be entertaining for everyone. see if anyone's watching tonight. I've been doing this for 6 months now, and I don't know if it's getting anywhere, to be honest. But if you are here, thanks for coming. Right. Ta-da! And there's one person, and I'm willing to bet it's Matt. Right. If I chuck some drawing on, then I can leave it there for a minute, can't I? Use blue because it's the only thing that's left. There's 2 triangles here, which is interesting. That one. Oh, and a bigger one there. That shape and that shape, sort of. So that's going to go there. This will go across here, sort of thing. Just chuck that on fast. A little bit. Just there. Just here. They're rather nice. Little wooden elephants just off to one side. Rather nice time together. It's all different now. Okay. I don't know what it is, if everyone's had enough of social media and the internet now. I certainly wouldn't blame you. Because I think everybody's sort of suddenly everyone's doing this, and it's not a substitute, it's its own different thing. You have to treat it that way, otherwise it'll do your head in. And nobody wants their head done in. That wasn't far off first time. So yeah, it's funny times at the moment. Maybe funny isn't the word. Certainly strange. I hope you're all doing okay, and hope you start to sort of figure out what we're doing next. How we go forward from here. Because I think the novelty is starting to wear off. And so this is the time when we're going to start handling it, and that's probably easier said than done. really like to get painting a bit more. I haven't had a chance to do any because I've had to kind of redesign my whole life. Because as I may have said before, I fell into this rather peculiar gap where everything got cancelled except for my rent. So there's no mortgage holiday for me, but also they won't fix anything. So it's a bit one-sided. But then again, it was letting agents, and they're useless parasites of human beings anyway. So what can you possibly expect? I mean, as far as they're concerned, I don't think much is different. They're not sat in an office anymore, but they're still doing nothing. So that's, you know, at least there's some consistency for it. Okay. Now maybe we've got some idea of what's coming in terms of relative shapes. I'm deciding what's important, what stands out to me, what I like, what I think is an important part of the image. And yeah, take it from there, I guess. It's rather nice. A gift from my cousin. Brought them back from Africa. Don't seem to want to agree about where they go though. Maybe they're smaller. Yeah, they are. That's why. So that's big shapes, simple shapes. And we some have some idea of where this goes now. So yeah, I thought the binoculars were sort of meaningful, especially if they're pointing towards us, like we're looking back at ourselves. We're going, who were you? What were you doing? Which at the moment is quite interesting, at least. I know this is all a difficult situation, at least because of the suffering that's happening, which is otherwise it would be a big old joke, but it's never nice to hear of people having to endure what they've been enduring. What was I going to say? Yeah. There's something to be said about finding the world interesting, even if there is hardship, even if there is difficulty. And we've all got our own difficulties going on at the moment, some worse than others, but I don't think it really works in a comparative way. I think it's more of a question of we've all got our own stuff to deal with. But it's making us think. It's making us understand something more about who we are, perhaps. And you have to take what little positives you can in order to be able to move forward. Anyway, that's a bit of drawing, so I can leave that there for a minute. Oh, up to 2. So I hope you can see that coming together. I'll move this across a little bit now, I think. I'll clean that palette off as well. I'll put paint on my phone. It's times like this I really notice how quiet it's become. Normally there'd be some thumping music out there and some shouting people outside the pub and people driving past playing dreadful music out of their cars or revving their engines up and down the street. There's been hardly any of that recently. Thanks. Okay, that'll do. Let's mix some colour. Oh, I say mix some colour. Let's put some colour on the palette, shall we? I'm using that again. Come on. Yes, thank you. Ooh. So yeah, as far as I can tell, it's been a very peculiar thing doing these live streams, because lots of people have been saying, "Oh yeah, I saw your live stream," and yet when I'm doing it, I don't think I've ever had more than 10 people. Usually it's about 3, and I think that's the thing about watching it live. Is that if someone goes on their Facebook and it pops up, they'll click it, but it will play it from the beginning. So I've got no idea you're here. Oh, we're up to 5 live now. So that's good. No idea who they are. But, oh, back down to 4 again. Someone took that personally. Or got immediately bored when they realised it was a man scraping a pallet. Yeah, so if you're watching on the replay thing, do see if you can join in with me live, and then you can send in messages. And 3, down to 3 now. That was just a weird anomaly. 2. Marvellous. Yeah. Nothing interesting to anyone, apparently. Oh, back up to 3. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about the numbers. But yeah, lots of people do seem to see it. So please do get out the replay bit and get into the live bit. And then I know you're there, and hopefully we can have a chat. Right, what am I going to need? I'm also going to need some raw umber. There's some. It's time to order paint, there's no way around it. Okay. Now, what's I going to say? Yes, anyway. So, what with not having a fallback, really, with this whole present situation, like so many people, I'm I'm doing it. I've been getting some of my art classes online, and that's been working. So I have a workable system. I did the research, and it turned out Zoom was the best one, and that's what everyone seems to be using. It's a good solid platform. And what I'm doing is I'm running my normal classes and starting a few new ones. And you can get access to them by becoming a patron on my Patreon page. That's a little tongue twister. If you do that, there'll be other bonuses as well, which are yet to come. I've been kind of busy sorting out the courses and the classes, so yeah, we'll see about perks. You could request some. I mean, really, if Everyone's welcome to anything of mine at the moment. If there's anything I can share with you, anything I'm useful for, let me know. Okay, I'm mixing a black here, that's raw umber and ultramarine. And there's still a bit of white left on the palette knife because I don't want it to be completely black, because I'll get to that later on. But that's just a starting point. It's quite a neutral bluey black. It's actually slightly greeny here. There's a lack of red content in those two colours. Raw umber is like dark yellow, really. Which probably isn't a phrase that makes sense to many people, but there you go, there is such a thing. And it looks like that. Okay. I've got the light on the surface, the ground, the paper that it's on. I've got the shadow. And they're not mid-tones, but they're not very dark. So there's a sort of a darker mid-tone. So I've made that my black and that my white. I'm going to put something right smack bang in the middle that I would consider halfway between the two. I would say that's about halfway. That represents the lightest. No, but even then it's even darker than that. And that's a bit too far. Bring it back a bit. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Big brush, a bit of thinners. I'll get this on for context. That's going to want to go on there. Yeah, I've got that greeny quality to it. That's good. Actually, it's a bit bluer back there. I can change that up afterwards. So let's make that slightly darker. Move back here a bit. Yeah, I thought steep like that. That's why my drawing was out there. That's why that didn't really work. Okay. Okay. Again, a bit darker again. I'll just put this maybe a bit into the foreground as well. I need to bring some blue tech into this. Oh yeah, it does darken up a little bit over here and over here. Yeah, you can see how it's subtle, but it's a change there. Anyway, that's the ground colour. I'm going to go halfway between those two to get that shadow colour. No, it's closer to black and it's a bit bluer as well. Darken up a bit. Go a bit darker again. How does that look? That's going to give you that shape there. It's going to go really dark when it gets further in, but in the meantime, yeah, same over here, a bit extra shadow. Same over here. And there, that's going to be darker. Still not enough. I think I've underestimated how dark a black I can make. That's darker in there. So I'll come back in with the light to fix all this up later on. There. Maybe that's not right. A bit of shadow there. Oh yeah, and then there's these ones. Back to the light one. Let's just put that bit in there. And then it's further over. No, that seems about right. Good. Okay. Background colour. It's going to be an offshoot of this. It's going to be greener. Some of that green in, like that. That's quite strong, definitely on the yellow side, liking it. More blue. Going to have to be lighter than this and bluer. But I'm going to need quite a bit of it as well, so let's chuck a load of light in there, a load of blue on it. Staying roughly the same tone because the blue is darker. And then that's going to be a really crisp colour. That's going to need some red on it. Oh, I quite like it like that though. Oh, look, nice and bright. Yeah. Let's mix that up there. Still quite a clean colour. You don't get a very clean green with, that's more like it, with ultramarine to mix a green with. It's got a red content to it. I'm not going to worry about that too much because I don't want it to be a super strong, bright, high chroma colour. How's that looking? Nice. Brightest bit in the middle. Negative space. Okay, that's way off. That needs to be much higher up. That's okay, yeah, this needs to be lower down. Brighten that over here and put a little bit of red in it, just a tiny bit, just to neutralise it down. Brighten it up over the one side. Okay, darker side. I'm going to get a bit of the green back, or a bit of that dark. Chuck that one here. Yeah, and we'll get some blue tack in a minute. Secure this. No, it's no good having it fly around all over the place, is it? It's affecting the marks I can make as well, so that might be any good. I don't want to put up with that. Put that in. No, further over that. Over here somewhere. Okay. Good, and then that shadow colour has a lot more red in it. It's actually a bit more orange as well. Let me go back to that green there. Let's see if that works for the shadow colour. It's closer. Yeah. Great. Where was I? Oh, there was already blue up there, just not actually doing anything. Okay. So that's all with a size 12 so far. No, it's reloaded. Reload. There we are. There we've got 5 of us now. Isolation chic, exactly. Yeah, well practiced at this. Although, if I'm honest, I'm finding it a bit weird as well, just because I'm used to other people socialising. Now no one's doing it. I kind of feel like, well, someone has to. So I'm probably more aware of that social thing. I was never that bad, but I can disappear for weeks at a time and not really notice that that amount of time has passed. Okay, brown. Before I put that on, I'm going to lift this up. Put that to one side. Yeah. So I think a lot of people are finding this strange. I do feel bad for the people that used to make all the noise outside the pub, because it was clearly a big part of their lives, and I can't imagine they know what to do with themselves now. Hey, nice dark brown colour. So I'll start with the dark and work lighter with this one. Most of the time I go towards a middle tone and then work it outwards. But this, let's put the very darkest bits in there first, and in there. It's going to get bluer as well. Yeah, it's very much a colour thing, this. It's all quite dark, but it's the colour that's doing the job. shapes again. Not being too fussy about it. So I can no. I'm forgetting which camera is which. Okay. Okay, I can use them for these as well. I've really got to look at the shapes here. My head keeps moving around. So there's one there. There's one there. It comes up. The other side of that. This is one here. There we are. There's a dark shape here. And this one's actually higher up. So yeah, tricky bit of drawing, but if I get it right at this point, then it'll make things a lot easier later on. Is that the right colour? Okay. Yeah. That's near enough for that. Okay. There's a lighter version of it. Also sort of like a dusty colour. Yeah. Again, some bluey purple colours to come into there, but in the meantime, something a bit more like this. Yeah. That'll do it. Okay. Now I'm going to introduce the blue, and I'm going to introduce it with some of these sort of purpley lighter colours in here. There's actually a bit there, it's quite fun. And then it gets lighter. Across here. Yeah, it's near enough for the moment. There's a darker version. I haven't used any of that pale green colour for the reflection yet, but I think I probably will eventually. Yeah, there's some. Okay. Carry that across the other side. Okay, fiddly marks can come later on. I'm not going to start fiddling with that. Where else can I use these? Well, over on the elephants again. I like the way these two sets of shapes relate together. There'll be some different final touches when it comes to that, but in the meantime, same here. Some little shapes. We'll give me the elephants. That needs to be higher up. One's taller than the other. Okay. Nice. Go back to that darker colour. Bring a bit of blue into that. Make some extra dark bits. Which when you go in here, definitely. There's probably a bit in that. Pop that in. Nice, put a bit behind that buckle. Definitely some in there. A little bit under there. Trying to do details now. No details, not necessary, not yet. That needs to be darker, so actually this will do that lighter bit. Exaggerate that slightly. Okay, I missed a bit of that shadow. I can't remember where it was now. Was it this? That sort of colour. I'll just pick up some of this and move it over. So that goes in here. As long as it's consistent. Oh, and while I've got some of that green on there, that was it. I was talking about doing this. Yeah. Chuck a bit of that in. Oh. Okay, where was I? Let me keep that dark browny blue over there. I can use that for some shadow when it comes to this red now. That's a crimson sort of colour. I'll pop a bit of white in it. And I'll add yellow until it's at the right level of orangeness. It's going to be slightly bluey as well. Okay. I'm going to need a light version, which is what I'm going to do with half of that mix. It's going to be a bit more crimson. Okay, I'm going to need a dark version as well, which I'm going to do with the rest of that brown I had left over. Running out of room on the palette already. There was still on a fairly big brush. I think I'm on an 8 here. Put some of those lights in first to see what they do. Oh, it's not crimson enough. A little bit of lighter, maybe. I was worried about the colour being too bright to begin with. I don't think I do need to worry about that. Yeah, I can make it a lot brighter. Oh, it's definitely redder than that even. So sometimes the colour that you see on the palette is very different to the colour you see when you put that same paint on the surface. Once it's in context, it looks very different indeed. This has definitely been one of those. Okay, take that up to the end. Yeah, let's put that shadow colour on as well. That's going to have to be blue. I can tell already that's going to have to be bluer. Much bluer. Purple colour. See if that does it. That's better. Hopefully they relate to one another. Similar. I didn't use any of that light brown for the that edge of the box. There you are. Get a bit more of a contrast there. Keep carrying it around. There's the bluer light at the top. And that light edge comes around. Where else is it? It's here. Okay. Concentrating too much now. Getting fiddly. Let's make a really dense dark black to go inside the case. I kept trying to do it, that's more like it. I'm going the whole hog now. That space a little bit bigger. Dark near the top. Yeah. And pick up some more of those highlights and things later on. As time goes on, they'll become more apparent. Okay, now I've got that bluey black. This can do an awful lot of the binoculars. I don't want to get into too much detail too soon. With that shape, it's going to go here. Most of this is going to be fairly vague because it's really just the highlights that that will make it work. The temptation is to sort of try and figure out what's going on and what bit does what and what's hinged with which bit, and actually all of that can distract you from just looking and saying, oh, there's a dark bit and there's a light bit next to it. And sometimes that can do an awful lot more to reveal the thing you don't know that's more oblique, that's harder to understand. Looking there, and here. Yeah, it's the beginnings of something, at least. I'm going to go back to that brown, just putting some heavy shadows here, just where they belong. Fiddling now. I'm going to have a very short break because this is such a headache to get it all set up and working today. I don't know why, it wasn't any different to the last time. But thank you to both of you for showing up to watch. It's very nice. Yeah. There was things I was going to announce, but it seems insulting to you and to me to go through with it. But some updates on the website with the online classes details, and you can link through to the Patreon from there and see if there's a way you can support me do this and the other stuff I do. I'm going to be chucking a whole load of pictures on Facebook and Instagram soon that are part of this artist support pledge, which is the idea that artists sell work which is £200 or under, and for every 5 pieces they sell, they buy one from another artist. And it's a way of sort of spreading the love out of it. So I thought I'd bring a whole load of pictures, like the kind of thing I do here, out there, so that more affordable end of things, if you like, hopefully sort of try and keep doing what I'm doing, because I think I'm a couple of weeks away from being a delivery driver, which is nothing wrong with that. I've done it before, so but yeah, it'd be really nice to be able to keep going, keep the momentum up with this, and keep teaching, and that thing. So they're the things to look out for next. I won't be going for long. Just going to take a cup of tea. I'll be right back. to I lied about the tea. Cheers. Yeah, I think I need to change the time slot of this or just give up completely. I mean, as a 6-month experiment, it's been quite interesting, but and I really appreciate the support I have got from people, but it's clearly going nowhere. I mean, it's not caught on, has it? I'll be honest with myself. So I think I probably need to go away and practice and get better, or do realistic pencil drawings of eyes. People love that stuff, don't they? No, in between. Yeah, very subtle tones here. Yeah, so I really don't know where I'm going to, if I'm going to carry on doing this, if I'm honest. It was a real hassle to get it set up tonight. I'm just arguing with the machine. So I either need 10 grand's worth of high-end video gear in order for it to be easy to do, or which ain't happening. Or it has to be sort of worth the effort, and yeah, I'm not sure that's the case. I was going for the green there, but I've got this one over here. I'm going to go with this one. Too green. Green there. What's that looking like? Definitely a bit more green over here. That's a bit. There's a bit. But I've got some good paintings done. I'm happy with those. And in terms of creating a habit of painting regularly, that's been good, and I will carry that on. I may just do random broadcasts from time to time, or I don't know. That's the thing. There's no point in me promoting the hell out of this, because it's not the sort of thing most people are interested in. Just a few discerning individuals. Those of you who, hopefully those of you who know what painting is, and that's all about. I think, it's hard to keep up with the pressure to be flashy. So maybe I just need to be more honest with myself. Maybe I need to let more of my actual personality out. Yeah, I don't know how wise that would be. I'm going to get more than one brush on the go here. I've been seeing these things online. This chap promoting his painting school, and good luck to him. And basically, it's these horribly bright, gaudy pictures which aren't very well done, and are just sort of naff copies of photos. I suppose in the Bob Ross tradition, and it's saying you too can paint like this, and they're just horrible, and people love it. All the comments underneath are going, "Oh, that's amazing! Are these for sale?" and things like that. And I wouldn't get annoyed at anybody else's success. I wish him luck with it, but it's quite hard to keep my mouth shut. Is my point, because it's no one's saying that, oh God, no one learned to paint like this. There's enough of this awful rubbish in the world, and So yeah, I mean, my temptation is to write. Can you teach us how to sharpen our brushes so we can poke our own eyes out when we've done it? But I've been very well behaved. And not indulged in any of that nonsense. Okay. These bluish colours. I'm just trying to get the really simple shapes in. There's definitely a bit in there. And these don't have to be absolutely precise, because it's the highlights that are going to make this work. And if I get the highlights right, everything else will take care of itself. And it's these subtle little mid-tones. Once I've got them, everything else should be alright. Okay, that was dodgy. It's because I'm trying to draw an outline. Stop trying to draw outlines, it doesn't work. It's very hard to resist them though. Okay. So I've got more of those dark areas in now. And there are heavier darks to go in yet, even more so than these. For that, I'm going to need a more fiddly brush. Yeah, a bit more of that background colour. Oh no, it's not blue enough. Maybe that is. No, that's too brown. Oh, well, I'm not going to fuss about it too much. Okay, where else can I use that colour? It's the same here. There it is. This is darker, and that's a clearer shape. Put that shape in. Okay, and then it's lighter, slightly lighter up here. This sort of shape, that's it. else can I see this? I can see it up here. That really does share a colour with the background. With this going across. With this going down here, that's right. This little scoop. That going across there. Little scoop here. Okay. What else? This bit. This bit. Now there's the bright shine, but actually the bright shine sits on top of a more subtle shine, which is more like that. I'm starting to glimpse it now. There's that line there, but it goes into a bright white as it comes around the other side. Okay, so I was saying about highlights, they're a big part of what's going to make it. Is this the right colour over here? Near enough, isn't it? This needs shaping up. Close enough. Okay. Yeah. Get some of that green now. Put some white in it. Work it into this foreground. It definitely needs to lighten up in there. There. Okay, that's nice because there's a little reflective highlight coming off that. A little bit on the inside too. Isn't the right shape? Pretty much. Oh well, I'm not magically massively happy with this at the moment. Just for the sake of variety, I'm going to use actual black. Yes, black. Black. That's right. I'm going to use black little brush. Let's see if we can get this to do something good. Use one of these ones. Maybe that one. I can't use it neat, I've got to put some blue in it. You can see that pushes it down an extra layer. Kind of tempting to splodge it everywhere, but I mustn't. Just help give it a bit of form. Oh yeah, under here. Under here is really important. Oh, that's a bit more. A bit up here. Try a bit more dark in there, a bit more in here. Up a bit more in there. A bit more under there. This will do it. About our elephants. No, that's too much. What is it? Okay. Those darker shapes. The ears go and stuff. Into the trunk. And the haunches. Really nicely carved. Simple little things, but just there's attention to detail in it. You can see that, and it's quite a nice thing. Okay, should we do some highlights then? Let's do some of these pale green highlights. I'll work into the surface. Yeah, great. These aren't the bright high highlights. Not yet. A bit of texture in. Tighten up some lines. That's a little wonky. Definitely here. What else? No, it's going to get lighter now. Quite a lot lighter. But still nowhere close to actual white. It's going to allow me to do things like this line up here. Across the top, that's a bright bit. There's this, which also wanders down there a bit. And this, which describes this little lens, if you like. And there's a bit of that here as well. And it fades in. Okay, now we're talking highlights. It's going to get brighter in a bit. It doesn't need to right now. These little sort of flecks have slightly broken up. Chipped paint. Texture. These little flecks of light up that mottled surface. Mid-grade, it keeps going around, that's good. Okay, let's put the bright highlights on, then leave that. It's quite a white light. Put a tiniest bit of yellow in it, just to make them look extra bright. Bit of oil maybe. Get it to flow. There'll be a little highlight there. Little flick, nice. There's a little flick just in the middle of that. Definitely that one there. That one doesn't seem to want to land. Oh, that's better. There you go. Just at the top there. And there. Where else? Oh yeah, this bit. It's a big bright highlight coming off that. Might mix this in a bit. Will that do it? A little bit wonky. Well, right, of course you do, of course that's what happened. I'm worrying about fixing something that no one's watching here. Oh no, we're up to 3 now. How exciting. I have no idea how to make this make sense now. Well, that's as close as we need to go, I'm sure. Okay, what else? I'm not going to stick with that little brush, it's dangerous. So I'm going to mix a creamy light colour, just for the lacing on that that camera case, on the binocular case, sorry. I'm going to make a dark version. I'm warming up ever so slightly, take some of that red out. That's too much. Yeah, give it a bit of extra colour, there's no harm in that every now and again. And then just little dabs. some of the lights over the top afterwards. Okay, now I'll make a light version here. Do these bits. These bits. Which actually sort of carries right across, weirdly. It does on the inside of here. Oh, I missed that. That would be near enough. Maybe on the inside. That's quite fun. Okay. To my nice elephants. A bit more yellow, I think. A bit more yellow, a bit more red. Let's warm them up a bit. Yay! We'll have this on here. Okay, pale blue. Let's do some pale blue. That's mark and go there. And there. Same as up here. Keep going to mix one colour and then mixing a different one by mistake. Okay. There's a lovely golden wood here. I've gone too far with the other one. Made it too pale. That's a bit more like it. That's my background colour. Is this it? Yeah, pretty much. Okay, little highlights. That's all mixed in. I've got that, I don't need to do that again. That's a brighter, rosier highlight. Just here. They've both got a little eye drawn on. There's a little groove, isn't it? I like the way they're huddling together. Like they're enjoying having their little huddle, aren't they? Enjoying being together. Maybe being close to one another. Maybe looking back on through the binoculars at a different time that will pass. Okay, I've got it. I haven't done the strap. That's not super important. What I do need to do is get this mark in the right place. Here. Oh, that's so much better. Sometimes it's the tiniest little things that make all the difference. And I've got this dark brown colour. Use a bit of that. Okay, let's get some of that same colour, make a shadow version, which will have a bit of in here. There's going to be a bit in there, definitely. A bit over here. Where else can we see it? I'll go back to this one. A few more little highlights for those laces at the top, that'll be fun. What haven't I done? Some buckles. Green. think that'd come in useful again. Okay, a little brown colours, add some. There's a bit, and then back to my little bright highlights. There. Not bright enough. There. There's some. Let's put a bit there. Yeah, work that around. And then little zingy, super bright highlights. Yeah. That was dodgy. If I could tidy that up, maybe I should just leave it off the corner of that, the top of that little bit there. Anything else? More super zingy highlights. No. Keep fiddling with that, I won't make it better. I would quite like to get more red into that shadow colour. Just into there. That feels better to me. That didn't need to happen, but I'm glad I did it. There we go. What would we call that? Little elephants never forget. The binoculars are for seeing a distance, but they're pointed backwards. And there's an empty case for them to be put away into. I love the little stories still lines make. I find them really compelling. Because it's really is whatever story you bring to it, like so many art forms. Interpretation is a massive part of it, and it's actually part of the magic. That's what makes it part of what makes it personal as well. Well, it was totally unnecessary, wasn't it? I don't even know why I did that. Yeah, just wrecked some perfectly good marks there. I think I felt like I needed to see the edge of it, like it didn't make sense without it. Oh, well, that's fine. I mean, of course, none of it's fine, it's all terrible, but that's what we've got now, so there you go. I'm going to use the red to sign it with. That isn't sure, I'm going to go over it again. It looks like it's been forged. Okay, it was forged. Oh, have a good time. How are we doing? Sorry you missed it, Jason, but you're here now. You can always have a catch up. I suppose we're all losing what day of the week it is, aren't we? But also, Facebook is now absolutely chock full of everybody streaming everything they do because they can't go to the pub anymore. I'm seeing more about this that I want to fiddle with. It's one last bit. I promise it's the last bit. You know, I was going to come back to this, wasn't I? Put those little highlights in again. And try and get them in the right place this time. Let's take a bit more time with it for once. A little shadow. Some of those darker bits underneath. That line up. Oh god, it made no difference at all. Stop it. So yes, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this going, this whole live streaming thing going forward. I thought it might make an interesting little curiosity, and to those of us that are here on a Monday, that's certainly true, but it doesn't seem to be spreading very much. Oh god, there's so many things wrong with this now. I'm seeing it all. I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Yeah. No, I've made a few decent paintings in the process, so yeah, it's had its value. I don't know what I'm going to do going forward, but do have a look at the Patreon page that's all on the website under the online learning section, which has replaced news because there was never any news. Yeah, if you know of anybody who wants to get involved with some online drawing and stuff like that, then yeah, the cheaper tiers are quite reasonable, and the other classes are sort of very. I'm starting off with a continuation of my physical lessons, and then once that's established and those people have got somewhere to go, then I'll open it up a bit more. But in the meantime, do spread the word, and thanks for coming, and sorry for the late start, but nothing worked for no reason at all. So I might see you next week. I might put the time into recording some actual lessons, so we'll see what happens, but thanks very much. See you soon. Take care of yourselves.